Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Band Trading Cards, and we have a special guest for today. And his name is Hinchi Chong, and the creator of the Dynasty TCG. It's a new TCG, and it's coming. It's already in the Kickstarter. So we will talk about his new TCG game and the rules, and also his background. That's why he's here to explain about his background on games and the how he come up with this kind of game. All right, so guys, we have here Hinchi. Hinchi, how are you?
Hi, Ben. It's amazing to be here. I really appreciate you giving me this opportunity.
Okay, thank you for your
Yeah.
time. Yeah, because most of my viewers are collectors and investors, and some of the players as well.
Mm.
And of course, they need to know more about the creator, and that's why I need to ask you about yourself. So I have a couple of questions for you, and
Yep.
maybe this one will give a value to our viewers. So before creating your TCG, the Dynasty
Mm.
TCG, when did you start playing games like trading card games?
Oh, trading card games. So
Yep.
trading card games for me, I was never brought up on trading card games, but there was one time that I went to my cousin's house, and then he got his whole like tray full of Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon cards, and these are like base set Pokemon cards, like 1990s Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and like he gave me a few of the commons and stuff that he didn't want, and I was like, oh, these are really cool. Can I have some? And it was like, yeah, for sure. And then he gave them to me. I got them, and then the whole like in the UK, because that's where I am right now, like in primary school, so like grade one, grade two, grade three. So during that time, people would get different trading cards called match attacks. So they're like soccer cards. So you would have a card and it had soccer players, and people would like trade, and like people would bring Pokemon cards as well. So there was a kind of like a mini market in like primary school, and like that's how I kind of got roped into TCGs.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see your accent. You're from UK, right?
Yes, yes, I
Okay.
am in the
So
UK.
yeah, can you give us about a bit of your background, where you came from, and why you were exposed to these games, even the digital or the trading card games? How you exposed to this one?
Okay, so I was born in Hong Kong, so I'm not from here. But when I was 3 years old, my family moved over because of work. And when we moved over, like I had to go to school here, so I didn't know any English, and I was like just it's just being embraced within the culture of being in England, and then over time that's where I developed my accent and my English
Hmm.
skills. And then in terms of TCGs, like that's definitely from schools, like people bringing in cards, because I was never exposed to this. Like I wouldn't say I come from a very fortunate background.
Hmm.
Like the most I had when I was younger was maybe a few Legos, and I'll just continue to like replay with Legos. So like from an early age, I had a very like creative background in terms of using my imagination to think of things to do instead of like having video games as such, because that was never a luxury that I could essentially afford.
Hmm.
But it was just having being able to use my imagination has just happened from really young age, and TCGs started in schools just because people with the sort of luxury of being able to have these like toys and cards and stuff, they would bring them in and they'll be like, okay, I don't want these, they'll give it to me, I'll take whatever whatever people didn't want. And then
Yeah.
that's really the birth of that story.
So during that time, do you have like a game design in mind? When
When I was younger,
yeah,
or
you when you were younger, you're like playing toys, and maybe you said, I gotta do my own game.
I like when I was young, I never thought about that. I never thought about, hey, I want to make a game when I'm older. It was
Mm-hmm.
literally, I enjoyed the moment of being like being a kid and playing with Legos and stuff, and it was just really enjoying what that time was. I was never thinking ahead. It was only maybe until getting into high school that's when I started thinking, what do I kind of need to do?
Mm-hmm. And then you came up with the Dynasty TCG. So what was the turning point that hey, I want to do my own and I
Mm.
want to do a Kickstarter?
Yeah, so in terms of creating Dynasty, it all started when, well, we're gonna have to talk about the Yu-Gi-Oh phase that I had, the Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh phase, because for me it went Pokemon and then Yu-Gi-Oh, and then no TCG, and then back to TCGs. So if we talk about the Pokemon phase, that was just because my cousin, like for my birthdays, I'll be like, hey, I want Pokemon cards. You know, I'll tell my family, hey, I want Pokemon cards, and then they'll just give me Pokemon cards. And then I eventually grew to learn that, hey, there's a game around this, and it's not just artwork. And then I played that. I got maybe 4 decks, and then after I looked at my Yu-Gi-Oh cards that my cousin gave me. I was like, these are really cool. I work on these are really cool, and like I want to learn about this. And because during that time, I grew up watching Yu-Gi-Oh 5Ds. I was like, Yusei is such a sick character. He's so cool. I was like, I want to be just like Yusei, right? And then I would get my cards out whilst watching the anime, you know, on a Saturday morning, and then I would just be like, yo, I'm gonna summon like Junk Synchron or something, and then it just. So from there, I then found a few friends in high school that also played Yu-Gi-Oh, and then we met up to play in our LGS, and then you know we played that for maybe 1 or 2 years, and then after that's when I stopped TCGs and focused on sport. So I focused on basketball until maybe last year. It was definitely last year. I'm still focusing on basketball, but you know it was last year when I delved back into TCGs because this was during lockdown, and I was like, man, I want to play Yu-Gi-Oh. And then I went on to, because this has been like a few years since Pendulums, and then there was Links, and I was like, okay, I'm getting out of this game. And then I went back into it. I was like, okay, I'm gonna see if I can understand this, if I can play online and stuff. And when I looked at it, I was like, what's going on? What's happened to this game that I know? Because it's not the same game. I was like, okay, I'm done with this. And then I downloaded Pokemon TCG on my laptop, and I was like, I'm gonna play some Pokemon because I used to play that. And I played it, and I was like, damn it, I'm done with this as well. It's not giving me the same like excitement as it used to.
Yeah.
And then because before I was trying to, this really like this is really weird, but I was just on my laptop and I was just like, I'm gonna find some games that I want to play online, but I'm not gonna download them. I'm just gonna look at games because my laptop can't handle any of this. So I'm just gonna see people play different games. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna enjoy their gameplay. And then you know I saw like Dynasty Warriors, like that game. You know the I think it's an sort of RPG, like Lifetime RPG, and you can control troops and stuff. I was like, wouldn't it be so cool if I could do that, but with trading cards? And then from there, that's when my brain started clicking and things started taking shape. And then that's sort of, you know, the development of Dynasty in terms of the conception of it.
So you found out that somewhat in that timeline that Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh is like boring for you. Can we say that? Or there's some mechanics that you don't like, you know, and then you want to make your own.
Yeah.
Which is, have you played in the championship or just friends?
It was funny thing. I went to a locals tournament one time, and like me being me, I don't like. But this was back when I was maybe 13. And I don't have any money because I'm a 13-year-old. Maybe I'll get some like allowance, maybe like once a week, right? So I don't have the resources to have a good deck. So I'll scrap around to find what I could, and I'll trade online and stuff. And then it got to a point where I was like, all right, I feel like I have a good enough deck. I went to the locals, and like first game, round 1, I was playing Black Wings against someone who was playing, I think it was like zoo. It was like zoo stuff. It was something like in the Yu-Gi-Oh, like during that meta. And I didn't know what the meta was. I was just like, oh, everyone's got that like cool little deck, and we should go play. I play one card, it gets negated, and then I can't do anything for the rest of the turn. And then next turn, they have a full board, and I'm like, I have a trap, but I can't do anything with this.
So you need more money to win.
Yes. It was basically like
expensive.
Yeah, exactly. I can't do anything. I was like,
Yeah.
so I lost that round, and then
Okay.
the second round I was able to take one monster because I had a trap card. I was able to
Mm.
destroy their monster, and then I lost. It was essentially like OTK or like 2TK because it just wasn't a good experience competitively. Yeah.
Okay. So, tell us about the timeline. Like, when you think about the Dynasty TCG, was it in
Mm.
how many years back?
I wouldn't even say years. It was probably just last year. It was
2021. Yeah. Okay.
2021. Yeah, that's when the idea popped in my head in the shower. I was just like,
Mm-hmm.
this has to be written down. Like, let me see if I can get. Here we go. This
So,
was the notebook
so
that I wrote.
you're pouring shampoo and then, hey, wait a minute, I gotta make a TCG.
it was
No, it's
it was
not
more
like
like
that.
it was more like I went into the shower and then halfway through like shampooing my hair, I was like,
Yeah, I look like a warrior.
yeah. No, I was like, I need to like this idea, like it's come to me in the shower. Like I need to write down. So like here, this was where I first like this is the first page that I wrote after the shower.
Mm-hmm.
I was literally like soaking wet, and
Oh.
I didn't even care. I was just like, get this book. I needed to write it down, and I wrote
Mm-hmm.
it down, and I continued to write into it. But yeah, it happened. It was a shower. It's a shower idea.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Yeah,
Yeah, I also have that. Like, for me, YouTuber, I said I take a shower and say, oh yeah, this is a good content that I think
yeah.
of. Shower is a great way
It
to.
really
So
is.
guys, take a shower every day
Yeah, that's
or
right.
twice a day to have
Yeah,
more ideas
get more.
coming. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you have an idea. Do you think of about? Did you start with a lore or the cards? Oh, the
Ah,
characters.
yeah. So, for me, it was mechanics. It like day one, it's always been it's how it should function, not the way it looks. Because the way it looks can always be changed and
Yeah.
can always, be altered over time. And people are quite accepting of the way things look. But in terms of gameplay, like I needed to have like, a rough starting point to like chisel out and refine. And as long
Mm-hmm.
as I keep, the same concept, that people won't be like, I don't understand what's happened to this game. Like, I just have something core to the game. Like that's my idea. Like I wanted the game to be a game. I don't care about how many promos I can print out for you. I just want you to enjoy playing a game because that's the
Mm-hmm.
reason why I started it. I started because I was bored of other games. Other
Mm.
games, they wanted to take more of your money so you can actually enjoy it to a
Yep.
certain extent. Whereas I want you to have a game that you can actually just enjoy from day one, and
Mm.
then you know you will continue to buy because you love the game. You're not
Yeah.
buying so you can continue to play the game.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you're in UK, and then why the Chinese characters? Is it do you want your culture from Hong Kong to be in this TCG?
Yeah, I mean, for me, like when I was younger, I was never really like, I wasn't really connected to my culture. But then
Mm-hmm.
the older I got, the more, I learn, I'm learning about the Three Kingdoms, learning about the history of the Great Wall.
Yep.
I'll just search up these documentaries about ancient China because I thought that's really, really cool. Like it's really cool to see, these are people that, it's part of your family. Like your family and your ancestors, they are a part of this time, and I don't know, something just connected with me. I really loved the whole sort of swords and arrows
Mm-hmm.
and the whole like the aesthetic in terms of architecture. I was just like, this is really cool compared to the 21st century where it's skyscrapers, it's just
Yep.
gray buildings. There's no color. Whereas like back then there was loads of color, and I was just like, this is something really really cool. And I just I enjoy watching like shows and like films from that period. I was like,
Yep.
I need to make it on this because I know loads of people like this as well. Ancient Greeks,
Mm-hmm.
Romans. Everyone loves that ancient time, but
Yep.
there's not a lot of awareness for it.
So it's like watching Jackie Chan.
Yeah,
There are good movies with Jackie Chan. That not just like the karate, and then
yeah,
he has a movie like the old.
yeah.
How many
That's right.
centuries was that? I forgot, but There's a movie from that. Yeah, and then do you want it to put it in the card? And so tell us more about the gameplay, and also I want to have a picture of the whole set. Like, are you focusing on based on China history, China culture, or do you have any outside cultures from the other
Influences.
influences from other countries? I don't know. So can you
Yes.
explain us?
Yeah. So let me actually show you instead. I've got
Mm-hmm.
some cards here to show you. So obviously, like the whole concept of it originally is Chinese culture, because that's coming from me. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
essentially what I know best, even though it's influenced, it's not historically accurate. So you'll see characters like this, which is like very um related to like Chinese culture. But then
Yep.
in these like proto decks that I made, like you also have Japanese like samurai
Mm-hmm.
inspirations. So it's kind of bringing all these different cultures from that sort of time period. Like it doesn't have to be exactly during that time period, but around that time period, they're all gonna be merged together. So
Mm-hmm.
the Romans, the Egyptians, everyone will like there will be bits from everywhere. So it's just right now that I've focused on Chinese and some like Japanese stuff. It's not
Okay.
like limited, but in this world as well, because the world of Dalong, which the game is like in, it's also very mythical and like any. So if you want some beasts, right? If you wanted lava hounds, for
Yep.
example, they can be a part of the world as long as it's not like people with tanks. Then then it's pretty chill.
So that means the characters of this TCG is based on mythical creatures of China, or
Uh,
the
Anywhere.
history. So
Yeah,
you can see warriors that are really in the history of China.
yeah.
Can
But then
you?
you'll also have warriors that aren't like part of it. It's just they. So like the three generals. So you have Liu Bei, Zhang Fei, and Guan Yu. So they're
Mm-hmm.
three generals from the Three Kingdoms period in China. So I want to make them into cards, but because they're historically accurate to our timeline, as it were, it makes it weird because other people will see other characters that aren't real in our timeline. So
Yep.
this timeline is just pick and choosing these like legendary warriors from our time, but also putting it in a world where they fit in. So all the characters that I will design, they're going to fit in together and they're all going to be cohesive. So it's not going to be like, oh, this stands out, it's not meant to be there. It's more so, if you look at it, it's like a parallel like universe to us.
Yeah. So like the real universe, and you put fantasy in it,
Yeah,
right? Okay,
essentially, yeah.
I got it. It's like Kamigawa
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
in Magic.
Yeah,
Magic Kamigawa. That's like Japanese culture. They put it in there.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I got it. And then talking about the expansion set. So give us a timeline of your products in the next 5 years.
Oh, the next 5 years. So I'll talk about year one first. So right now I've got about 5 phases that I need to go through before retail. So that's when the LGSs get all the products to
Mm-hmm.
sell to everyone else. So we're currently in phase one, which is all the sample cards here, which I'll show you. So these are all the sample cards.
Mm-hmm.
So we're current like for people don't know this because they think that, oh, these are all the final cards. These are really just the beginning. We're
Yes.
like, this is the first stepping stone to the final TCG.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I'll release this as a little Ben trading card exclusive, but
Mm,
there's going to
nice.
be right now in terms of the artwork for Dynasty is entering phase two. So the artwork for the game, it's already being upgraded. I just haven't released it to anyone, but anyone that's watching, like
Mm-hmm.
that's what's going on right now. But in terms of the cards and stuff, they are still in phase one, and I'm just slowly iterating. Getting the right, seeing the holo prints, finding out the holo prints, seeing like which one's best, and these are going to be released to the people that want to like invest in the game by allowing them to have these sample cards because people can essentially buy a bit of Dynasty history,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's phase two. Phase two is entering into the proper decks. So I'm gonna have two proto decks. I've got 2 proto decks, which is on the playingcards.io that I showed you.
Yeah.
So they're really rough, like slightly more refined than my first ever decks. But they are to the point where you can actually play the game, right? You can actually use them. But phase 2, that's where I'm going to be refining it. That's where the artwork looks better, the borders, all the words and the definitions are cohesive. So that's when I'm going to have something which is really, really playable that I can get to loads and loads of people. And then phase 3, that's when I start.
Sorry,
Oh,
Hinchi.
yeah.
Is
Yep.
phase 2, are we talking about this year or next year?
Phase 2 is this year. It's right now.
Yeah.
During this time period, phase 2 is happening.
Okay.
And then once I get the decks manufactured, got it out to people, let people play, let them have a taste of Dynasty. That's when I enter phase 3. That's when I start developing, essentially the booster box, seeing how it is, like getting that sorted, getting new cards designed, further improving the artwork, further improving the border, really like finalizing, iterating. So like phase 3 is just improving upon phase 2, but expanding what I'm doing in terms of having, a booster box as well, being able to design
more
these cards.
characters coming in.
Yeah.
More cards. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then phase 4, that's when I'm gonna do the big Kickstarter launch. The big Kickstarter launch, that's where you get, you can get your crates of boxes, you can get your decks. That's the big one that everyone needs to look out for. That's like, the Akora, Metazu, the proper Kickstarter that they have to push them to make the final production. And then phase 5, that's final production. That's, we finalized all the borders, all the artwork, all the text and stuff. And then that's going to be, first edition released to the public in LGSs.
So I believe that 3 to 5, phase 3 to 5 is 2023, right?
I'm hoping to actually, yes, 3 to 5. Yeah, I forgot what year we're in.
Yeah, because you're having a Kickstarter right now, and the release will be, I forgot the release, but we can talk about that in a while. But you have the phase 1 and 2. Phase 1 is the Kickstarter right now, right?
Yes.
And then 2 to 5 will be in the next few sets.
Yeah, it'll be coming out. So it's essentially like 3 main like Kickstarters, if you want to say it. It's essentially sample packs and cards. Then it's going to be structure decks, and then it's going to be the final thing. It's just so I could, for me managing my workload, I didn't want to do everything in one go. I needed to chunk things off to make it doable.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And all right. So far you showed me some cards there. Based on you showed me, which card are your favorite ones?
My favorite. Oh,
just one. Just one.
This is my favorite. It's my graded card. So this is
what's the name of that?
选字, the Deadeye Sniper.
Okay.
Yeah. The lighting's pretty bad, but
yeah, it's fine. It's fine. We can. Yeah. You can send me a photo. We can show it here.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, like as a graded card, that's my first ever graded card. I was never like that. Is like for me, that's the only graded card I've ever had in my life. And for to be the one like this artwork as well. This artwork is the first artwork that I did for Dynasty. So it's the first artwork. It's the first graded card, and that card in the slab, that's the first slabbed up card, and first printed out card. So it's a very special card to me.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. And also, the Kickstarter sample cards, have they been printed, or some of the samples have been printed already? To the one that you showed us, right? Yes. That's printed, right?
Yes, these are printed. So these cards here are the sample version 1.1s. So these are just the print of the OG20. I call them the OG20. It's the original 20 cards that I've drawn up.
20.
So these are the first like printed ones, and then the Kickstarter is meant to have better produced cards. So these are pre-Kickstarter sample cards, and then for the Kickstarter, I wanted to do something special for the timeline as well, because when I designed it and everything, it was like coming up to Chinese New Year, and I thought, Chinese New Year, what can I do for like something special for it. So I designed, the 12 zodiac cards, and they're upgraded with the different borders as well. So all the artwork's upgraded is digital. That you can see the difference between these and
Mm-hmm.
then the ones on the Kickstarter. So it's just having the different developmental chunks available for people.
All right. So by the way, the viewers right now, we're gonna show Hinchi will show you how this card will play on the board. Okay.
Yes.
So that
Okay.
will be in a while. Okay. So there are so many TCGs coming out.
Hmm.
Maybe I can count it at about 30 that I know now.
Yeah.
So many. How is Dynasty TCG different from others? Like the existing one, Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh. You said Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon.
Yeah.
That's the reason why you go to this
Yeah.
Dynasty. So how about the new Kickstarters? Have you studied them? And what is the unique the unique attributes of the Dynasty?
Okay, so number one, it has to be gameplay. That's the
Mm-hmm.
most like, if I could sell anything, but I only sell one thing, I would say gameplay. Once you play the game, like you will see, like we'll talk about it in a bit, but like it's the gameplay. But
Mm,
I think
okay.
I think as well, it's just I I'm I do sports. I'm a student athlete, so I've got the mind to keep on pushing. Like for you, what time is it right now for you in Canada?
For 40.
4:40. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I've got a friend Stois. So Stois is in Texas, and we do like business calls, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
And I stay up until like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, my time, just to like talk about and like plan and develop the TCG. But it's just I really care about this. Like if I gave someone this, if someone took this away from me, I'd be really, really upset. Like this is
Yeah, it's like your
essentially this
baby. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. This game is essentially an extension of myself. It's everything,
Mm-hmm.
it's everything that I feel put onto cards, and everything that I wanted in terms of a card game put into that. So
Mm-hmm.
I really care about this, and if anything ever happens to this, like I wouldn't know what to do, because I put so much effort in already.
Yeah.
Like it's I really care. And like I would say another advantage in terms of a creator, I'm young. I'm younger than most of the creators, so
Yes.
I've got a long while on this, and
Correct.
I'm happy to wait it out. So yeah.
Okay, that's good. And while you're holding that, may I know how do you arrange with the rarities? Like some have uncommon, commons,
Ah,
majestics, mythical. I don't know. So can you explain the rarities about that?
I'm just gonna keep it simple. I think you'll have your commons, and then you'll have your rares, and
Mm-hmm.
then something similar to super rare, and then something similar to secret rare, and then
Okay.
maybe something like super mythic. So just keep it simple to something five. I think
Five.
you know,
Okay.
yeah.
So, is it final yet about the names of the rarity,
No,
or
no, it's
you
not.
will
No,
change it after the Kickstarter?
it will change after the Kickstarter, because
Mm-hmm.
obviously this is still essentially, in business terms, this is really just prototyping. This is just
Prototype. Yeah.
yeah, this is just still iterating and learning, and like finding what's right, what fits, what doesn't fit, and
Mm-hmm.
seeing what's cohesive enough.
Okay. So where do you plan to print the cards?
China for now.
China.
Yeah, that's where I'm currently outsourcing my stuff there, because it's pretty easy for me to just communicate with them and like
Oh yeah.
get the sort of right
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, but
And
I'll see. Oh, sorry.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna see over time. That's when I'll start outreaching and seeing where else is available.
And you can speak Chinese well, right? The Mandarin.
Yeah,
Mandarin.
Mandarin. I can hold a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think Hong Kong is Cantonese, right?
Yes, Hong Kong's Cantonese. I speak more Cantonese than Mandarin. Yeah, but I can
Okay.
speak Mandarin as well.
All right. So I've seen three TCGs right now, printing in China, and
Mm.
I have a TCG that was printed in China. It's good.
Mm.
Meidasu, Galamons,
Mm.
and there's one TCG coming, but yeah, they're good quality, you know,
Yeah.
and they are printed in Shenzhen, near Shenzhen, Guangzhou.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's near where my family is as well. So
Mm. It's
yeah,
like a science park there, you know, like
yeah,
they have the many industries there. I've been there to Shenzhen as well, so so
mm,
many factories.
yeah.
Yeah, which is good. And then so you print it on in China,
Mm.
then you have the samples. And
Yes.
what is your plan on the kick this Kickstarter? How do you package that?
What do you mean by that, Ben?
Like,
Sorry.
how do you put it? Like in a box or in a
Oh right, I
pack?
see. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
What's the
So
packaging? Yeah.
so in terms of there's different Kickstarter tiers, but essentially all the tiers will have single cards. And for the single cards, so it's going to be random. So the Zodiac, there's 13 cards,
Mm-hmm.
and most like I think 3 of the tiers have random cards. So I'm just gonna pack them up in. Let me show you. So I've ordered and designed
Oh, Ong
these red
Pao.
pockets.
Ang
Yeah,
Pao.
Hongbao.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
Hongbao. Yeah, and basically, the cards I'm gonna put them in what are these called? Top loaders. And then I'm gonna
Oh
put them in the Hongbao. And then because it's Chinese New Year, I want to bring that sort of like
yeah.
experience to people. So the cards are gonna be randomized because I'm gonna put them in first, shuffle them around, and then pick them out for
Okay, for
everyone.
non-Chinese people, we have lots of viewers non-Chinese.
Yes.
So please explain the I call it
Oh
ang
yeah,
pao. Yeah, in Singapore, I think we call it ang pao.
yeah.
So you said hong pao, right?
Yeah,
So
Hongbao is Cantonese.
yeah, can you explain more about that?
Okay, so these hongbao, you put a little bit of money in there, you give it to your loved ones, and it's meant to bring them prosperity,
Mm,
bring them good luck for the new year.
uh-huh. That's
Yeah,
what I was waiting during the bonuses in Singapore.
yeah,
I was waiting for my boss. Oh,
yeah.
he is
Here's
bringing
your, here's your
a red
hongbao.
envelope. Red envelope
Yeah,
in football is not good, but
yeah,
in Singapore is good.
yeah,
Because if you get in playing soccer, right? You have
yeah. You get a red card. It's
a red
yeah, it's
card.
bad. But
You're done. But in Singapore, if you have a red card, you're gonna be happy. Yes,
yeah,
money coming in.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah. So and then after the Kickstarter, so that's your packaging. You're gonna put it
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, I'm gonna put these in, and then people are also going to get they're gonna get them in the top loaders, and then they're gonna have packs as well. So I'll just package them in the box and then send them off.
Okay, it's not
Yeah.
like the other TCGs that they put it in a pack with a foil pack, you know.
Oh, it's a foil pack. So I've got foil packs as well as sample cards. So
Uh,
there's gonna be single cards and there's gonna be packs.
in a
So
pack.
there's gonna be packs of 3 cards. So 1 card will be hollow, and then 2 will be non-hollow.
Mm, okay.
Yeah.
And then about the add-ons.
Mm.
So if I go to your Kickstarter,
Yes.
do you have add-ons inside after I back it, like
Yes.
a pledge manager, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a certificate that you can get if you want to, have a little bit of extra to say, hey, I've pledged and been a part of the Dynasty,
Yeah.
TCG Kickstarter. So, that will be done, put into a nice envelope and then, put within the packaging. And then there's also extra packs. So there's 1,000 extra packs that are
Mm,
available for people to buy as an add-on. And those are
okay.
going to be unsigned packs, whereas the people who have pledged, they're going to get signed packs. So I'm going to sign the outside packaging for them,
Mm-hmm.
whereas the add-ons are just, if you want to, buy, I don't know, say 20 and want to open them all to try and get the full set, then you still can. So it doesn't limit people to having to spend loads of money to be able to try and get a full set.
And how many tiers that you have in the Kickstarter?
I think I put 8. There's 8, and I
8.
know that the top 3 and 4 have basically been sold out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if my memory serves me right, it's like the last, not the very last one, but the 3 from the last, starting from the second last, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, they can. What's the name in the Kickstarter?
It's just
Dynasty TCG.
Dynasty CCG. Yeah, it should come up.
Yeah, and after the Kickstarter, there's one called Backer Kit. Do you have that as well?
I am actually not aware.
Like Backer Kit is after the Kickstarter. They have another. I can say wave of orders.
Hmm.
You can change your order or you can add on.
Ah,
We
I
call
don't
it
know.
Backer Kit. So for now,
Yeah.
after the Kickstarter, it's done, right?
Yeah, after the Kickstarter, like, that's whatever I print,
Mm,
I'm not printing again because these are meant to be 2022 Chinese New Year cards, and
yeah.
there's no point printing them next year. So these are exclusive just to the Kickstarter. So
Mm,
these designs and stuff, they're going to be, these are early prototypes, so these are going to be scrapped and thrown out the window essentially. So
hmm.
this is the only time to get these cards.
And will you put a label Kickstarter logo on a
It's
card?
actually it's part of the code for the card. So like in Yu-Gi-Oh where they have set codes.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a set code which is I think is DTCG KS 2022. So the KS stands for the Kickstarter.
There's a KS word,
Yeah,
the abbreviation. Okay.
yeah.
So, and also, do you have any other products other than the cards, like coins? Some others are offering poker chips. What else? T-shirts, Do you have those or just the cards?
I think right now, for me, what I find most important is cards. I think, people, I just want to get the cards into people's hands. Like, I don't really care about sort of merchandising at this point. I just want people to just be like, hey, I've got this card, like get people talking about the cards instead of just talking about the name. So I want people to, like, the whole focus of this is to be able to see, hey, this is a real game and this is a real thing instead of, being like Pokemon, where it's like, oh, it's a TV show, it's a this and that and that. Like, in such an early stage, I think it would be like one wrong for me as a creator to,
Mm-hmm.
that's because that essentially is kind of like extorting money from everyone saying, hey, buy this because it has this label in. So I just
Mm-hmm.
want to keep it pure right now. It's just the cards. Over
Just
time, yeah, but right now, not really.
okay. And do you have a day job, or are you focusing on this TCG only?
I'm a university student.
Okay, so you're
Yeah.
a university student. So once your Kickstarter is finished,
Hmm.
are you be focusing mainly on your game, or you will finish your school first, or you do it in parallel?
Okay. So like, not many people know this. I guess Ben, you're gonna be like the outlet for all this
Okay.
news. But basically, so I'm in my second year of university right now,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm doing this alongside my studies, and it takes a lot of my time, but I'm still manageable, like with the current workload that I'm giving myself.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm doing it alongside right now, but next year that's my placement year, so that's when I'm meant to go into industry and work for someone else, and, have a job essentially, go into the real world, be a real like citizen somewhere. But what I did was I went to the university. I was like, because I knew they had like people that do business and stuff, and I was like, hey, can I work on my own business? Can I
Mm-hmm.
work on Dynasty TCG? And then after like 2 weeks of talking to like 50 different people, like I was sending emails left and right, being on meetings and stuff just to talk about Dynasty and stuff.
Yeah.
Like my university has now allowed me to work on Dynasty like full
Wow.
time next year. So,
Wow.
so I get that opportunity to work on it for 2023, the 2023 school year. Dynasty that is my job. That is like my livelihood basically. And then in 2024 school year, that's when I go back to university and study again.
Okay. It's
Yeah.
like they're giving you time to focus on that game.
Yeah, basically. But because it's a business, they've allowed it. Whereas, if I wanted to just train for basketball, then then they couldn't have done that. But luckily it's part of, a business and it's something that I really enjoy. So it was well packaged.
So your school now is business management because you're
No,
oh,
I study sports science.
sports science. Okay, I thought
Yeah.
because you're always talking about like the business side. So do you have any business experience? Have you sold anything
Um
since young?
actually in fact, like I don't study business. I've never been
Hmm.
taught business. But I guess
Yep.
I've known how to talk my way to sell things. I know how to
Uh-huh.
sell something, because even like thinking back to Pokemon cards, I could get a pretty good trade going for a holo for a non-holo. Like people will want what I have, even though technically it's worthless, because
Mm.
people can you just gotta talk to them, let people like actually want what you have. And from an early stage, I've done a lot of like selling stuff at school as well. So I think
Mm.
in year 6, so maybe 6th grade in elementary school, I think in like America and Canada, basically we had this like entrepreneur like sort of day,
Yeah.
and we were selling like cookies and like
Yeah.
brownies and sort of like different things, and we had teams, and I was heading like my team, and we won the competition for that. And
Nice.
then in high school, that's when I started selling origami and stuff, and I sold artwork to raise for like charity and stuff. So I guess from a young age I've been selling stuff. So it's
Mm.
kind of developed, but I've never like thought to be like, hey, I'm gonna like do this, because that's not where my brain lay. But that's just what I've been able to do.
So do you enjoy selling things?
Oh, I just love talking to people. I could sit here with you, Ben, and talk for hours.
Oh
It could
yeah.
be about, yeah, it could be about anything. It's just
Nice.
just have a nice conversation with someone.
And have you, beside from leading the project in school, have you lead other communities before?
I've been on. Well, in terms of business, I also had a previous like clothing line that I set up during COVID, and I
Mm-hmm.
was able to like get it to people. I had a few things sold to people. It wasn't insanely crazy, because I relied too much
Yeah.
on a team of people that didn't really care. So like I kind of had to shut it down and be like, okay, I need to focus on other things, because I can't be like full time working on this by myself and have studies and have XYZ. I had to like, I had to just be like, guys, I'm gonna have to stop this. Maybe in the future, like, it's still something I want to do in the future, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not a priority right now. So I've just put that to sleep. But yeah, I was able to get like 9 partnerships with like 9 different universities. So
Mm-hmm.
people were like growing interested, and then I did a lot of stuff for my school in terms of being like doing something called a world class school award. So I had to like head doing like video production, and kind of lead a team to like get content ready for essentially promoting our school to get this award. And then we got through, went to the next round, did the same thing, got the award, and now there's things that I have done. It's just I can't specifically remember a lot of it, but I can say I've had experience leading sort of teams
Mm-hmm.
and stuff.
Okay, so 2023, I was looking at the timeline. 2023, you're releasing your second Kickstarter. That's the timeline, right? Second Kickstarter, the one with
Um,
the proper booster boxes. What? Yeah.
the for the so the second Kickstarter, it's going to be like a really really small one, just for like booster box, no, not booster boxes, for decks and stuff. So that's going to
Mm.
happen within 2022, some point,
Oh,
like
okay.
maybe in a few months time in
Mm.
2022, just so I can have enough to get like a large scale production, so everyone can have something, just because I want to just spread the game around.
Yeah.
But
So that
then,
means, oh, okay. That means the release will be about the first quarter of 2023, right?
yeah, first second quarter of 2023.
And how about tournaments after that?
Yeah, tournaments. I want to arrange some tournaments in the US,
Mm-hmm.
and I've got a few buddies in Canada as well that I'm gonna hit up. But I think, because me personally, I can't go traveling around, because I'm gonna have to be based in university,
Yeah.
because I'm technically working for university but
Oh,
working
okay.
for myself.
Yeah.
But it's just so they can have supervision that I'm actually doing work. So I won't have much of an opportunity to move. But I have um, a few buddies that have LGSs in America, that can definitely sort something out. I think one of them has a capacity of 200 people. So
Mm-hmm.
having that space is definitely something really really cool. And then we'll move into Canada. I've been talking to a few people in New Zealand as well, some like quite known people in New Zealand in terms of local game stores community. So I've been thinking about how to do these different tournaments.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So that means you're or have you talked to a certain distributor yet or still planning?
Distribution for now, because this is such an early stage. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like I'm going to be doing all the distribution, so I'm going to get it all and then send it off to everyone that's going to get it. But over time, I will need to have a base, and the people that have LGSs, that's a big bonus.
So you will start in UK, I guess, right? I assume, and then you expand, or
It's
you do it at one time.
it's actually like it's actually pretty funny because I'm like being in the UK. I thought there would be more UK reception to the game,
Mm-hmm.
but like 60% of my audience is actually from the US.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so my market essentially is the US. So I think I'm gonna hit things off with the US first, and then I'm gonna because I've talked to a few local game stores here where I'm living, and they're interested. So I'll do really small tournaments in the UK,
Mm-hmm.
but the sort of bigger ones in the US because I don't not many people know of Dynasty in the UK for some reason, which is really confusing, even though I'm here.
Mm-hmm. Okay, can you give us a little bit of map on how to distribute your product?
Okay, so let's say post the final Kickstarter. So we're in the retail phase. So our minds will be in the retail phase. So what I'm gonna do, my initial thought is hit LGSs. I want people to go to LGSs to buy this because I think going to like Walmart or Walgreens or
Mm-hmm.
Target, yes, you can get the cards, but the experience isn't there. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're literally there to go get inventory. You're just going to essentially a warehouse. You're not going into an environment where you're like indoctrinated into the whole TCG space. So I want people to bring their kids into LGSs and like I want them to be like, oh, hey dad, hey mom, like what's this? Like, can I get this? Like, can I have this? And then in that space they can play as well, right? I want them to feel how I felt when I first got into the space because I went into a local game store, I bought my packs, and it's just having that feeling. Like I want to like really emphasize the feeling of being part of the space of TCGs instead of just
Mm-hmm.
being like, hey, I'm investing into this game because it will earn me money. I want people to actually have fun with the TCG. I don't want this to be a stock market. There will be a market, but I don't want. It's not my intention to turn this into a stock market.
Mm-hmm. So, but you're also there are three spectrums of the TCG. So players, collectors, and investors. So what will
Yes.
you for? So I seen that you're leaning more onto the players, right? Because it makes sense because it's a game.
Yeah.
But are you? What are your plans on for the collectors and investors?
Okay. So investors are going to invest into a game, so they will buy sealed products because that's going to be pinned onto how popular and how well known Dynasty is. So
Mm-hmm.
that is just me doing the right marketing and doing the right things for it. If they don't care about the game, it doesn't matter. They just care about the hype behind the game, which that can be done through players. So as long as I have players and enough people, talking about it, then the investors are pretty safe. And then
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure. What was the other one? Sorry, that you said.
Collectors,
Collectors.
yeah.
So collectors. So like the Chinese New Year, like the print run there. So these cards aren't legal. These cards are purely for collecting. So there will be collector sets that are like so like Halloween sets. There will
Yeah.
be special edition Halloween sets, but these cards are not legal, and because they're not legal, the print run is going to be very limited.
Mm. It's a
So it's
promo
not
card.
yeah, it's a promo card, but these
Yeah.
promo cards you can't use in game. So these
Okay.
are purely for collecting. So everyone will get hit with something that they like. But in terms of player market as well, the stock of a certain card will be based on how well, how well it is within the game. So there's gonna be all the markets kind of like work symbiotically because everyone can dip into different products from each of the three aspects.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you talk about marketing. So how do you market your product?
In terms of
Yeah, right now.
right now I go onto as many people that like follow TCGs as possible and
Mm-hmm.
message them and be like, hey, are you interested in this?
Yeah, that's why we talk now because you
Yeah,
sent a message to me.
yeah,
Which
that's
is
that's right.
so you're
So
going to social media. How about guesting in other comic in conventions? Have you been in a convention before?
Me as
Like,
a person, I haven't been, but Stoice, my associate, he's taken the cards there. He's already gone to the Dallas card show. And if you scroll,
nice.
yeah, if you scroll further down on the Instagram, you'll see a few videos from there. But we're also going to be in Orlando CollectorCon. So
Okay.
like Stoice is going to have a bunch of these sample cards to give out there. So if you do catch Stoice there, he's going to be in tie dye. And yeah, he's just going to be handing them out. And we're going to have like a few secret things that are going to be happening. But yeah,
Hmm. Okay, so you mentioned what's the name of that?
Stoice.
Stoice is a YouTuber?
No, he's not a YouTuber. He's a buddy of mine that helps out with the TCG, but he's quite well known
Okay.
in the community. Yeah.
So can you tell us more about the organization structure right now?
Right now, it's essentially
You and
me and Stoice, and
okay.
then
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's basically us two. I
And
do
content creators or whatever content creators will help you with the marketing,
yeah.
right?
So it means that I talk to Stoice the most about what's going on, like what's going on in the TCG space, learning about hey, what do you think of this? He's basically like a sort of an advisor, but I have the final say, but he's really helped out in terms of giving advice and like being in the places because he's the guy at the places. He's like a replacement for me, but
So
yeah.
you're the game designer and he's the marketer, the sales, something like that, right?
Yeah, he's the in-person essentially marketer. He's the in-person
Yeah.
spokesperson. I'm the online guy. I'm the guy that does everything on social media. I do
Yeah.
all the
The
designing and all that
producer.
stuff. Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah,
and it's a pretty good like dynamic. It's really
nice.
beneficial.
Of course. Aside from Discord, oh yeah, but Discord, by the way, is 92 members right now. I've seen it.
Yes.
And aside from Discord, what other communities do Dynasty TCG have?
It's just Instagram. It'll be Instagram and Discord. I haven't
Instagram, Facebook.
ventured. I
Oh,
haven't. I don't. I feel like I don't know how to use
okay.
Facebook because
Yeah.
yeah, it does seem to be a little confusing for me. But I will be diving deeper into it. It's just that right now I kind of need to just focus on the game. But having Discord allows people to still be involved.
Yeah. So have you been doing some paid advertisements
Sorry, what was
lately?
that?
Paid ads.
No, I haven't. No, I haven't done any paid ads. I've just everything that you've seen or like heard is just word of mouth.
I have a question about the distribution, and this is a question I've seen it from other content creators as well. So I want to ask you this. Would it be possible for content creators to become a retailer of your product?
Content creators as retailers. Oh, that's I've never heard this question before. Not even in the videos I've seen. So, do you mean in terms of I ship to content creators and then content creators distribute to the general public?
Um, I've talked to this about this kind of model. This is different.
Hmm.
So my idea is
Hmm.
you have for now is you distribute from distributor LGS then to
Hmm.
the masses.
Yeah.
Now, if you have a content creator and he has community,
Hmm.
which is if they want to buy from that content creator,
Hmm.
there's a term called, I'm not sure if it's the same term, which is drop shipping,
Oh
where
yeah.
drop shipping.
Yeah, I know drop shipping. Yeah.
Yeah, you have a product, which is you
Yeah.
have a product, and I'm a content creator. I have a page where they can
Hmm.
order, and once they order, I will order to you, and you will ship it directly to the consumer, right?
Hmm. So
So
would I allow drop shipping from
yeah,
content creators?
and
I th-
the content creator have I could say maybe you can have like a special card which has a logo of the content creator with as a
hmm.
promo card, so that you can also in your side can monitor where it's going, right?
Hmm.
I'm not saying that you have to do this, but this is just an idea that I'm always looking at. From now, I started with other TCGs as well,
Hmm.
and giving them some ideas, and maybe it works, because the distributor to LGS is a model that is long time ago, before internet, and now we are different right now. Like, the big Magic the Gathering content creators like Rudy. You know him, right?
Yes, I know Rudy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Rudy is also have a different business model, because he buys and stock it in a warehouse, his warehouse,
Yeah.
right? But for content creators, we have a community. LGS has their own community. Rudy has his own community. So content creators have our own community, that they love us because of our personality, not because of the boxes that they can buy, but because of personality. You know that, right? You
Yeah.
watch in other social media, you follow a certain creator, and because of she's pretty, she has a good personality, something like that. So we have a community, and this is the different um, decade where internet is here, NFTs are here, the technology. So Rudy is also doing the old style type, right?
Yeah.
That he has a warehouse, and if his Patreon buys, he will sell it to them. But
Yeah.
for what I think is, us content creator, we have a community. If they buy from us, it goes to you, and you will ship to the consumer. It's different as well as like affiliate, because affiliate is, we go to the LGS, not the like directly to the creator, right? You know affiliate marketing, right? You
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
we go to the LGS, and they give us 5%.
Mm.
No, sorry. The buyer will the player will be given sorry, the one who bought it will
Mm.
be given 5%, and they will give us a commission. So
Mm.
for me, it's different, because once they go there, and they don't want to buy us from anymore, because they can go there, and the relationship between us and the viewer
Mm.
is um is different. Like for us, like if we are the content creators, and they can buy from us, and you just deliver it to them, so
Mm.
the relationship is there, right? And
Yeah.
sometimes for example, you are in UK, and a consumer is buying from UK, and
Mm.
they saw it first from me,
Yeah.
and they will order it from me, and then you will deliver it to them, and you will see who is the content creators that's doing a good job, right?
Yeah, I understand what you mean.
Because if they go to the LGS, the creator will not know, because it's from the LGS, it's only, right,
Yeah.
that this content creator is mine, right? It's like uh spreading your jurisdiction. I've been to distribution as well, with other parts, not this one, but
Mm.
electrical parts. So we have our own distribution. Like if we are selling in Philippines, I can't sell in other countries.
Mm.
But that's the old model.
Yeah.
I think there's something that you can think of this kind. Maybe you can, study about that. Ask your business partners on how to do that, because maybe it will help us content creators, and it will boost our motivation to do more contents about you, right?
Yeah,
Marketing.
definitely. Yeah, I think what you've like talked about here, it's a good idea, and it's something that it has to be well developed. It has to be thought through. You have to get all the nuts and bolts really like screwed on tight to just make sure, because there's some people out there that'll be like, oh yeah, I'll distribute this to like so and so, so and so, but then they could just keep all the, they can weigh packs. They could be like, okay, I'm just gonna keep all the good stuff for me, and then like give it off to whatever, which people at LGSs can do as well. So I think because we're going into such a digital age, it will be something which will be of a benefit and something that we can definitely do. But it's just taking these things one step at a time. So it's definitely something in my mind to like have different branches, because the more I can spread the game, the more that it can just grow, which is what I want. I want a strong foundation of just getting everyone's hands should touch Dynasty at least once, and then from there the seed should just grow into a huge tree. Have a huge network. So yeah, it's something that I want to look into.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna study about that and about the legalities as well, because I know that
Yeah.
if there's a will be definitely a big change to the distribution of products, and
Mm,
it will hurt someone. If there's a big change, there are gonna be some people will be mad at this, but it may be in the long term, it will be
mm,
beneficial to the community, right?
definitely, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's go to the game so that they will see how it's played. And
Yes.
we're gonna change the view right now.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're here at the playing cards .io, and this is a good platform that you can play trading cards as well for free. And Hinchi here will explain to us on how to navigate on this platform, and also he will teach us on how to move cards, play cards, and what are the
Mm,
parts of the cards. All right, so Hinji,
yeah.
please help us with this.
Okay, I guess to get everyone caught up in terms of the cards, we can look at Veteran Hay. So I'll just explain the different parts of it. So on the top left corner, you have the resource cost of the card. So that's your mana, your energies, in different games. So that's how much that card costs. And then on the top right corner, that logo indicates what sort of troop it is. So that unit itself, Veteran Hay, is a melee unit indicated by that arrow. These are all going to be redesigned, of course, because that is currently just an arrow.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the bottom left-hand corner, you have the attack of the unit, and then on the right-hand side, you have the health of the unit, and then in the middle, you have the name and the effect of the unit, if there is. And then top middle, that is currently just where the card's from. So it's not too important, but it's just something to say, oh, that's from the Eastern tribe or the Western tribe. So that's sort of the classification of that card. And then I'll move on to the next type of unit, and that would be this longer arrow. This is a ranged melee unit, and then after here we have the ranged units, and then this one we have the mobile units, and all of them have there's a reason why there's specific, like there's 4 different types of symbols, because they all do different things, which is why I needed something to sort of differentiate them. And then here we have order cards. So order cards are like your spells and your traps. You play them onto the field to have an alternate effect to try and do something. Here are the item cards. So your equip cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! This wall is literally a building, a structure,
Mm-hmm.
and you play them onto the field with the same cost, as troops, but they only have health. You can't do much. It's just a wall, which is why I wrote wall there. And then in terms of this card, so this one is Ikari's Domination, so and it's a 10 cost, and this order card is specific to a champion card, which is this sort of card. This is highlighted as a champion by the little pentagon in the right-hand side below the logo in the top right corner there. But that is,
Yeah.
people, there will be a way to differentiate it. And then the name of this card, Ikari's Domination, you'll have the card Ikari on the field to be able to play this card. So that's a quick, rough overlook in terms of what the cards are. If we're talking about, we'll move on to the classification. So I'll just put that here for ease. So this melee champion, so all of these are essentially like chess pieces on your board. So when you play a card, you have to see what their sort of range is. So Veteran Hay has a range of 1 square in front. So Veteran Hay being here, can you see my little circle, Ben?
You mean your mouse?
Yeah, my mouse. Can you see my mouse hovering?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so here you will see Veteran Hay, and he would be able to attack a unit right here. So if we place this on the board like the game.
So sorry,
it's-
Hinchi, can I ask while you're on that
Yep.
this card? You said it has a movement of 1. How do you
No,
know that it can move 1?
it has a range. It has a range of 1.
So how do you know that it's a range of 1? Is it
Uh,
are there any card that's gonna have a range of 2, 3, or 4?
yes. So
Mhm.
that's where the arrow in the top right corner that symbolizes how many what the range is of the card.
So if there are 2 arrows, there are 2 ranges. You mean?
No, so Veteran Hay, he can only hit the card directly in front. So we look at here and here. Veteran Hay would be able to hit Samurai Father. But if there was a card behind Samurai Father, Veteran Hay would not be able to hit my archer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe we can just explain to our viewers because they may be confused because
Yes.
supposedly this playmat is in front of you, right?
It's meant to be in front of you, yeah.
The opponent is meant to be at the top of this screen, but
Yeah.
if you imagine that the playmat is on top of that, so this what's the name of that? Veteran
This
Hay is
yeah.
facing Samurai Father, correct?
Yes, that's right.
All
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
It's just because of this limited software that I can't do much. So
Yes.
so you have to look at it symmetrically to be like this card hits this card.
Go ahead.
So Veteran Hay would be able to hit Samurai Father because he's got a space of 1. But because he doesn't have a space of 2, he wouldn't be able to hit my archer.
Where
Whereas
is two symbol?
two symbol is that it's not necessarily how many it can hit, but it's just the way it can hit. So this symbol, this longer arrow, this one can hit 2. So
2.
essentially,
Yeah.
it has a range of 2. So it could choose either
Okay.
Veteran Hay, or it can choose to hit my archer because
Yeah.
it's
Got
exactly
it.
2 in front. So that is how we do 2 there. We arrange this, and then this one for the mobile units.
Mhm.
Mobile units, they can go from the back to the back of another one, so they have the whole lane
Wow. Okay.
to attack. And then let's move on to this one. So the archer here, so I need to explain this. So in the game, you have to play in lanes, so the damage occurs in lanes. So you can't just choose to attack left and right, whoever you want on the field. You have to play within the lanes. So battles conducted from here to here, and
Yeah.
you can't just do that. That's why I wanted to design a card so this archer, which is a ranged unit, if he is on the midline, he is able to hit the whole of the opposition's field. Whereas if he's on the back line, he can only hit up to the midline. And the ranged units can hit anywhere on the field, essentially, if they stay in the midline here. But backline, they're limited to just the midline of the opponents.
So can it hit? Oh, sorry. I think I can move it. Yeah. Can
Yeah,
it
yeah,
hit
you can
the
move.
ones? Okay, if I put this, and this, so it can hit Veteran Hay, right?
Yeah, it can hit Veteran Hay if you wanted
And
to. But
yeah,
that would be
and
your side of the battlefield.
yeah, and train cavalry,
Yeah,
right? Okay. So
yeah.
it's
So
like everything around that card.
essentially, but it's on the whole field. So if this was like over here, my
Mhm.
archer would be able to hit the cavalry just because it's on the midline.
Cavalry train. Oh yeah. So
Yeah,
this one will hit this. Okay.
yeah. So as long as the ranged units are on the midline, they can hit anywhere on the opponent's side of the battlefield.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah. But the only because before like having this rule before it was like they can hit anywhere from like anywhere, and it was really overpowered. So I said I'm gonna limit it so you can stay in the midline because
Mhm.
1, they can be countered, and 2, it's you can still do something to
Mhm.
destroy them if they're like well protected.
Okay.
But yeah, I think I'll go on to explaining the level up because this card is a champion card. So in the game itself, you have your regular units, and then you have your champion units, and your
Mhm.
champion units are essentially like your commanders in Magic. Your really strong cards. that you want to get out. And these, they will either be normal champion units, level up champion units, and then you get battle champion cards. So battle champion cards are these cards, and these evolve from this level up champion. So you can see there's a level up condition. If you meet this level up condition, then you'll be able to search your deck, your essentially discard pile, your hand, and just place it on top, and then you level up, and then you have an even stronger card.
And how do you know that there's a level up?
By having a level up, it will say level up in the text.
Oh, there. Level up. Destroy 2 units in the same battle, right?
Yes. Yes.
So so it can be leveled up by Zhanzi only, or a sniper.
Yes, only him. Yeah.
So how do you know that Deadeye Sniper is for Archer level up?
That's where phase 2 of designing these decks come along. It's like phase 2 is where I'm refining and upgrading all the wordings here.
Yeah, because for me, if I get this Zhanzi, how do I know what's the line of it? They call it like line of evolution, like line of level, or the level. Yeah, okay.
But the way it evolves, like the way it levels up.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
Yeah. But basically, I'll like that's why we're still in phase 1, phase 2. That's where I'm like making all the wording.
Yeah, and the requirement to level up is to destroy 2 units.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, that's good. Okay.
Yeah. So I'll just put that there. Yeah. Let's see. I'll explain uniting. The uniting mechanic. I'll just do that for purposes here. So uniting is where you have one card with another card supporting it. So if you place a card behind another card, that's considered supporting that card. And to unite, you must have cards directly behind each other. So because all of these are behind each other, Veteran Hay can unite, have a united attack by combining the attack from all of these, and it'll be channeled into him. Wow. And then he would do the damage to the trained cavalry, but these two won't be able to attack. So uniting is considered any units uniting or being united, it considers their attack being used, because essentially they are attacking. It's just that not through them.
So the attack of Deadeye Sniper is 6.
Yes.
Archer is 3, so that will be 9, and
yes.
10 for Veteran Hay. So that will be total 10 damage, right?
Yes, that's right.
So it's like you're uniting. Your word is uniting, so it's like ally.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
Ally is like a cavalry. Cavalry is yeah, you can also call it cavalry, but your term is uniting. Okay. And it's it will hit cavalry and father. Will it hit?
Yes, so it will hit cavalry, and then in this current version, the rulebook that I've done so far, it will hit cavalry and then the father, and then the excess will go to the player itself.
Okay.
But I'm also tinkering with the idea of the excess just going straight to the opponent, just to try and speed things up. But I'm going through a lot of test trials to see which one is more enjoyable. But yeah, it will go through cavalry first, definitely.
All right, but before you move on, what is the life? Okay, you said it will hit the
player.
How we go? The player. What is the life of a player?
100. So
it's here. The health is 100 here.
Health is 100. That's right.
100. And what is the 8 resource?
So resources. You start off your turn with 10 resources. So each turn you get 10 resources, and so let's pretend I've got a hand here. I've got my cards in my hand, and this is turn 1. I've got 10 resources. I can play a samurai father. I can play a trained cavalry, and then that will bring me down. That will bring me down to 3 resources.
Yeah, correct. Okay.
And this game, I've based it off. Think about it as real life. if you were a military commander, you had a set budget each
Mhm.
day, and you can only do certain things each day. You can't spend all your money on your turn, right? You've got to have money to spend on your opponent's turn, just to
Yep.
be ready to counter them. So let's find this. Okay, we'll do this. So I will end my turn, and then my opponent will play. Let's say they just, for the sake of this demonstration, they played
Yeah.
this. It's a 2 cost, and then on my turn, no, on my opponent's turn, I still have 3 resources. So if I wanted to, I can play this resource card,
Mm.
this order card, and then that will bring me down to 1. So
Yeah.
then that's, that effect will resolve on my opponent's turn, but I've lost resources. And then on my
Yep.
next draw phase, I will draw a card, and then it will go back up to 10.
So every turn you go back to 10.
Every
Correct?
turn you go back to 10, correct, yeah. Nothing is
Ah,
carried over.
all
Because
right.
the only reason I've done this is because of OTKs. OTKs are just not enjoyable for anyone.
Yes.
Whereas having a limited resource, it forces you to think in a way of, do I save my money or do I spend my money?
Mm-hmm.
So it's bringing essentially a real world like concept to it. I want to simulate real life battles. So like in war films where you see the generals with the huge tables, and then they have to move like little figurines and stuff and take figurines off.
Yeah.
It's basically doing this but with cards. So I'm just distilling that feeling and that experience into cards,
And
but
it's
also
like,
having it.
yeah. Oh, sorry. It's like every turn you have you're given a budget from the king.
Yeah,
Right?
that's basically how it is.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
And then do you have any other cards to show? Oh, by the way,
Yes.
you haven't shown the green cards.
Oh, the green cards. Yes,
Yeah.
sorry. Green cards are order cards. I've said something about the order cards earlier in terms of, so this champions might increase the strength of the unit by 1. I think, it's a simple little boost. You'll play it into the order zone. You pick your target for the card. It can be, Due, the medic, and then, he'll get that boost for the game. And then, we have the battle champion cards that have specific effects that are really, really strong, but they're countered by having such a high cost. So if I wanted to play Akari's Domination, I would have to play my 10 and then be exposed next turn.
Yeah.
Because the way that I'm designing this game is to make everything counterbalanced. So everything, like, you could have a really, really meta deck, but even if you have a meta deck, there is something to counter that meta deck.
Mm-hmm.
It's more so, because it can be countered, it just makes things balanced, and then it really focuses more on how well are you able to play your troops. Because I forgot to mention that troops can move in this game. So there's a battlefield of 3x5. Troops can move once per turn in the game, and they can move any direction, diagonally, top, bottom, left, right. They can move however they like.
But they can't move over to the opponent's side.
No,
correct?
you have to be within your zone.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think that's about it. Aside from the item cards, the item cards you'll just, like in Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh, you'll just
How
place
about
it
the
there.
wall? Wall
The
and
wall.
the one that the blue one that you
Yes, this
yeah,
one.
there. Can you explain?
Okay, so item cards, so they're the equip cards, increase the health of a unit by 1. So
It's a
you
medic.
would just, yeah. So you could put it on the medic, put it on top, and then he will be carrying onto these weapons and stuff. And it's like boosting the characteristics of your cards.
Sorry, it boosts the health or
The health.
okay, that means the health of this unit of this
Yes.
Okay, so that means it goes what was the health of this unit?
So it will be
4.
1/4. It will become 1/4.
So the right top right, right? Sorry,
Uh,
lower right.
The lower right, that's correct, yes.
So lower right will go 4 at the end of the round or the whole time?
The whole game, as long as the item is equipped. So you got to think about this, like, imagine this was real life, because if you gave someone a shield It won't disappear like after
Yeah.
a day. They will hold on to the shield until the battle's over.
Yeah, but if it's killed, will
If
it
it's
stay?
killed, no. If it's killed, both of these will go to the discard pile.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Because I played Magic the Gathering, they have some kind of this one. They have
Mm.
like equipments, so they can once the creature dies, it will stay on the sword, or how you call it? I forgot the weapon.
The
I
yes.
forgot the term in Magic the Gathering, man. So it will just stay on the arena, and it
Mm.
can be used by others, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, got it.
Yeah. And then the
Then the
wall
wall.
itself, it's like another unit. So if I was, let's just do this because this one will hit the wall. So if you place a wall in front of the Samurai Father,
Mm-hmm.
then my UA, because he's got a range of 1, he wouldn't be able to hit my Samurai Father, but he would be able to hit the wall. So he won't take any damage, but it essentially gives my father a buffer in terms of health, essentially. Essentially, he's a 2/5, but obviously he's not 2/5. It's just that there's a wall in between it. So he can survive 3 health.
Mm-hmm.
So he could survive 3 attacks from
You
UA. And then,
mean when the attack of oh, sorry, I thought I was clicking on it. So the attack is 1
mhm.
to the father. So
No, it'll
instead,
do 1 to the
uh,
wall.
1 to the wall.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
what if an archer is attacking the father? For example, an archer is attacking to the father and there's a wall.
then there would be no problem. It's only for because the archer can hit anywhere, so they can target anywhere on the field. So this archer can target anywhere on this field.
Mm-hmm.
So that wouldn't be a problem for the archer. Even for
Ah,
the samurai father, because he's got a range of 2, 1, 2, he would be able to hit UA, whereas UA would not be able to hit the father because of the wall.
all right. Yeah, I
Yeah,
got it.
and
So the
so
wall is used for those who are not range attacks,
yes,
right?
they're used
Archers.
for just stopping sort of people
Oh
in
yeah,
the front
stopping.
row.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then okay. So are we done with all the cards
Yes, these are all the cards that are needed
for
in
now?
the game. Yeah, for now.
All right. So I think that's it for now. And we're gonna we're gonna make another video showing you, we demonstrate you on the gameplay itself. We will play with Hinchi a game. All right. Okay, Hinchi, please invite them for the Kickstarter and other
Yes.
products that you have.
Okay, guys. So currently I've got sample version 1.1s available. So these are these cards. So these are pre-Kickstarter cards, which are available if you just send me a message on the Dynasty TCG Instagram or through the Discord. We can hook you up with either a signed pack like this. They're all factory sealed, so I don't do any of the packaging, or I open them up and then sign each of these cards for you. So those are the pre-Kickstarter sample version 1.1s, and they're non-hollow. I will be developing the hollow ones soon, but I just need to get these cards into people's hands first. But at the same time, we also have the Kickstarter. So the Kickstarter is for sample cards and packs, and that is a special sort of collector's set for Chinese New Year, and as I've explained in the video. And currently there are 33 spaces available for pledges with additional rewards. However, even if there's no spaces available, there is the pledge for I think it's just for like however much you want to pledge for like no rewards. However, in that option, because we've already hit the 3 necessary stretch goals for the extra cards, anyone who pledges from now on will get 3 extra promo cards, as well as having MGC scratch cards, as long as we stay above the target. So in theory, if there's nothing for you to get, if you pledge a little bit of money, however much you want to do, you still get 4 items.
Okay. All right. So Thank you so much, Hinchi, for your time. I gotta put the links down in the description. And don't forget to support Dynasty TCG on Kickstarter and join the community Discord. And if you don't know the link, I'm gonna put some links down in the description as well. And thanks everyone for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye, Hinji.
Say it.
Bye bye.